You have $1 trillion and you would trade almost all of it to sit in a diner and talk to someone who doesn't know that. But let's back up. The morning it happens, your phone doesn't stop for 6 hours. You're sitting in the same chair you've sat in for years. The number on the screen doesn't feel real yet. It's just digits, a very long row of digits. By the afternoon, it's real. Your face is on every screen in every country on earth. Not famous like an actor, not famous like a musician, famous like a weather event. Famous like people stop mid-sentence when you walk into a room, because what do you say to the wealthiest human being who has ever lived? You have more money than the bottom 40% of America combined. If you spent $1 million a day, you'd run out somewhere around the year 4,700. The world knows your name now, every single corner of it. And the first problem is obvious. Everyone knows where you live, so you get security. Not a bodyguard, a rotating detail of 12. Former special forces, they sweep your route before you leave the building. Your neighbor waves at you from her porch one morning, and two of your guys step forward before she finishes the wave. You move, you buy a compound, 14 acres, iron gates, walls high enough that you can't see the street from inside. A guardhouse at the entrance, manned around the clock, a private road, $200 million, gone in a single phone call, no mortgage, no waiting, no negotiation. You hang up and it's yours. But you still need to get around, so you buy Bugatti. Not a Bugatti, Bugatti, the entire company, $2 billion. Your accountant logs it as a rounding error. That's 0.2% of your net worth, the equivalent of someone earning 100 grand a year buying a decent jacket. A place that size doesn't run itself. You need staff. Housekeepers, groundskeepers, chefs on rotation, a property manager, a house manager, drivers, an IT team just for the security systems, a personal assistant who has her own personal assistant. Within a month, 63 people work at your house. The compound runs like a machine. Everything is handled. You are the only one who lives there. And nobody warns you about this part. $1 trillion makes money faster than you can spend it. Even sitting in the most boring investments on earth, your net worth grows by tens of millions every single day. You wake up richer than when you fell asleep, every morning, without lifting a finger. So you spend, of course you spend, a 747 gutted and rebuilt as a flying home, $400 million, a private island in the South Pacific, the largest yacht ever commissioned by a private citizen, helicopter pad, submarine bay, movie theater, full medical facility on board. $600 million, gone. Rounding errors, all of it. Then one afternoon you get an idea, a good one. Your mother has lived in the same house since 1987. The carpet in the hallway is worn through. The water heater is the original. She stayed because it's home and because she never asks you for anything. So you buy her a new one. 5 bedrooms, a garden, everything brand new. A beautiful house in a quiet neighborhood. You have it ready in 6 weeks. She cries when she sees it. At first you think it's good crying. It isn't. She says it doesn't smell right. She says her chair doesn't fit anywhere. She keeps reaching for a light switch that isn't on the same wall anymore. She moves in because she doesn't want to seem ungrateful. You visit twice. Both times you bring 4 security personnel who wait outside in black SUVs. Both times you leave feeling like you did something terribly wrong and you can't name what it is. She asks quietly, like she's almost embarrassed to even ask, if maybe she could have the old house back. The old house already has new owners. You want coffee, just coffee, from the place you've been going to for years. Your security team needs 45 minutes advance notice. When you finally get through the paparazzi and walk in, every person in that shop stops talking at once. The barista's hands are shaking. Someone in the corner is filming you from behind a laptop screen. You get your coffee. It tastes exactly the same. Everything around it is completely different. You stop going. You don't want to make people uncomfortable just by existing near them. So you write a check, $500 million to disaster relief. The media covers it for about half a news cycle, because relative to what you have, $500 million is what you earn in a slow week. People are grateful for about a day, then they want more. They always want more. But it's not the strangers that get to you. It's the people you already know. Your phone rings constantly, but none of the calls are from friends anymore. Lawyers, wealth managers, heads of state, charity directors, everyone wants a meeting. Everyone wants your name on their thing, your signature on their check. The friends from before start to disappear. Some just drift, some stop reaching out entirely. The ones who still call sound careful, measured, like they're choosing every word before they let it leave their mouth, like there's something fragile they're afraid of breaking. You invite your college roommate to the compound for the weekend. He was the one person you could always be honest with. The whole friendship ran on friction. He argued with you about movies, politics, where to order food at midnight, everything. He says yes before you finish asking. He gets there and compliments everything. The house, the grounds, the wine, the guest room. He agrees with everything you say for 2 full days. He laughs at jokes you know aren't funny. He never once pushes back on anything. He leaves, and you sit in a room the size of a small apartment and realize you just spent a weekend with your best friend and have never felt more alone in your entire life. And then the lawsuits start. Not one, not two, 17 in the first 6 months. An old business partner claims you shorted him on a deal from 9 years ago. A woman in Arizona says you promised her $10 million at a fundraiser in 2019. You have never been to Arizona. Your legal team calls them frivolous. They use that word so often it stops feeling like a word. But each one costs 6 figures to fight. Each one puts your name in a headline. Your lawyers tell you to get used to it. When you have $1 trillion, people will use every tool they have to try and take it. The legal system is a toll road, and you are the deepest pocket on earth. You settle 3 cases, not because they have merit, because fighting them publicly costs more than writing the check. 1 million here, 2 million there, rounding errors, but every settlement gets reported, and every report draws 5 more. Your legal budget for the year crosses $40 million. You have an entire floor of a law firm working exclusively on your cases. You've never met most of the lawyers. They send you weekly summaries, pages and pages of people willing to lie in a courtroom for a piece of what you have. Then you meet someone. She's sharp, funny in a way that catches you completely off guard. Doesn't mention the money once. You see her again and again. 3 weeks in, something real starts to form. Then she mentions your island. In a conversation you never had with her, you go quiet. You tell her you're tired. You don't call again. She texts twice. Then she stops. 2 weeks later, a tabloid runs photos of the two of you at dinner. Someone at the restaurant sold them. A waiter, a valet, someone who just picked up the phone. Now her name is everywhere. Her face, her job, her apartment building. Strangers are sending her messages. Some are threatening. She had a completely private, anonymous life before you sat across from her at that table. You erased it just by being there. You send an apology. She reads it. She doesn't respond. Someone from your past sells a story to a magazine. A joke you made at a party in 2011. Stripped of all context and printed in a headline, it makes you look like an entirely different person. It's everywhere inside 48 hours. People who have never been in the same room as you now have a firm opinion about who you are based on something you said in a dorm room 15 years ago. Your crisis team goes into action. They tell you what they always tell you. Don't respond. Responding makes it worse every time. So you sit behind your 7 screens and watch someone sell your old life for what your team estimates was about $250,000, $250,000. That's what your past is worth to someone who used to be your friend. You can't call them. You can't confront them. You can't even confirm you know who did it, because that becomes a story too. You just sit there and you wait. Your mother calls on a Sunday morning. She sounds exactly like she always has. Asks if you're eating. Tells you about a bird that keeps getting into her garden. For about 10 minutes, your shoulders drop and your jaw unclenches, and you almost forget what your life has become. Then she mentions your brother. He didn't ask her to call. He never would. But he's behind on his mortgage and his car needs work, and you have more money than most countries, and he's your family, and she just thought you should know. You had no idea he was struggling. You send him a few million that afternoon. He doesn't call, not once. 3 months later, at a family dinner you flew everyone to on the 747, he sits at the far end of the table. He talks to your cousins, your aunt, anyone but you. When you try to catch his eye, he stares at his plate. He leaves before dessert, doesn't say goodbye. A week later, your mom calls again. Different tone, quiet. She says your brother told your cousin that you ruined the family, that everything changed when the money came. She isn't calling to take sides. She's calling because she doesn't know what to do. She has a security detail she never asked for, a son who won't look at his brother, and a family that used to fit around a kitchen table and now needs a catering crew and a jet just to be in the same room. You tell her you'll talk to him. You don't. What would you even say? You can't undo the money. You can't undo the jet. You can't walk into his house without two armed men waiting in the driveway. The distance between your lives is not something a conversation can close. Your head of security calls a meeting. Someone on your household staff has been feeding information to a gossip site, consistently, paid. They traced it through photo metadata to a specific window in the East Wing. Only 3 people have access to that hallway. It takes 2 days to narrow it down. It's Linda, the housekeeper. She's been with you since month 2. She remembers how you take your coffee. On a Wednesday morning, she's escorted off the property carrying a cardboard box. You watch from the second-floor window. She doesn't look up. A man in a suit walks her to the gate. Another man opens it. She gets into a car that's been called for her, and the gate closes behind her. You stand at the window for a while after she's gone. Her replacement starts Friday. Tuesday, you take the yacht out. The ocean is so blue it looks like a screensaver. The chef trained for a decade in Michelin-starred kitchens across 3 countries. Dinner is extraordinary. The sunset turns everything gold. The table is set for one. You take a photo of it, and then you don't know what to do with the photo. Back at the compound, somewhere around 3 in the morning, you're awake. You walk the hallways. The theater room is empty. 60 seats, dark screen. The library is empty. The only sound in the entire building is a faint mechanical hum at the end of the corridor, the security camera adjusting, tracking you. You stop, it stops. You take a step, it follows. You go outside, the grass is cold and wet under your feet. You walk to the middle of the lawn. It's the same sky you grew up under. Same stars, same depth, same silence. When you were broke and the rent was late and the future was one long, uncertain question, you used to sit on the roof of your old building and stare at this exact sky for hours. You didn't care about any of it back then. The stars haven't moved. Everything underneath them has. You go back inside, down the main hallway, past the pool you've used 3 times, past the tennis court you've never touched, past the wine cellar where a single bottle costs more than most people's monthly rent, into your office. 7 screens. Your portfolio, your companies, your calendar, and a news ticker that mentions your name twice in the first 30 seconds. You sit down. Outside, security does a shift change. New faces replace old ones. The groundskeeper starts the mower across the far end of the lawn. 63 people keep this machine running. You try to think of one person you could call right now. Not a lawyer, not a manager, not someone who works for you. Just one person who would pick up and talk to you like you were still just a regular person. You can't think of one. Over 60 people work here. You are the only one who lives here.